All right, guys, sorry for that. Part 2 of Burke Smith here. For some reason, it stopped recording, and we're about an hour and a half in, so we're just going to wrap up the last 10 minutes here. So, yeah, man, we were talking lastly, the last thing we really covered was about nutrition. You know, you went through your daily habits and all that stuff, and I really think when it comes down to the fundamentals of our society, I think we lack a couple different features. One is nutrition, for sure. And if you guys are seeing why Burke is struggling, I have a small garden and I grow jalapenos, and he just had one, and it's
I made the mistake of eating the whole thing. It just sits on your tongue; it doesn't go away.
Also, I changed shirts. Just somebody's gonna say that in the comments, so I changed shirts, whatever. But yeah, so I think when it comes to basic knowledge of like eating right, going to the gym, most people just don't even know where to start. You know, I feel like most people don't know how to check nutrition labels or anything of the sort. You know,
well, it's almost like, I mean, when I first like started like kind of getting into it, playing sports and everything, you know, growing up, and especially when I got to college. When I got to college, we had a nutritionist on the team.
Oh,
so, like there was someone that like told us what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, what we were trying to do, what we were trying to accomplish for the goals and our calorie surplus or deficit. You know, protein, carbs, fats, all that intake. We all had that broken down once a week. So our nutritionist, because especially being out of college, you know, you have other students that are there in the program that are trained to do the same thing as our personal trainer and as our nutritionist and dietitian was. So they had to get some type of, you know, experience. So we were part of that progress for them. So while we were trying to grow and learn more about our nutrition and what we're like putting into our bodies, they also sat there and were teaching us. So it was kind of going back and forth type thing. And it's like, you know, I remember talking to one of my buddies when I was in college and him saying, well, I ate my whole entire life. Like, there's not a single thing that, you know, I haven't tried, I'm not willing to try type thing. It's like, yeah, that may be so. We know we need to, you know, eat to survive. But at the same time, you don't actually know what's correct for your body. Just because your body feels good after you ate it doesn't mean it was actually necessarily good. Me, you know, when being younger and everything and kind of eating fast food and doing all that, I thought I was perfectly fine. I thought that was great. Now that I've gotten older, like we've talked about, if I eat that stuff on a regular day-to-day basis, I can't even tell you the last time I had fast food. I would feel absolutely awful. You know, I'd feel garbage. I probably wouldn't want to move for like the next hour. You know?
Yeah, no, most definitely. And I would say too, like our generation, maybe the generation before us, you know, like there wasn't a lot of light that came out about like how bad fast food was, right? So like, dude, back in the 80s and 90s, like if you went to McDonald's for breakfast, like that was considered a healthy, staple breakfast. Like, you know, the hot cakes and fucking sausage, like, dude, everybody would eat that, right? And then, you know, nowadays people come around like, wow, this is terrible. Half of this isn't even real food. Yeah. Half of it's full of chemicals, and they spray the meat, and so it looks, you know, real and all this shit. Yeah. So, you know, I feel like more people now are probably coming to the light about those things, but at the same time, be like, there's still a large percent of the population that, oh, I didn't eat McDonald's today, but I ate the bag of Doritos from the store. Yeah. Right? It's the same concept. It's the same idea. It's still junk. Right. I mean, the best thing for somebody to do is to be proactive, have a plan, meal prep, look at the nutritional value on things. Yeah. And what about one thing that I've lacked that I've added into my diet that's been tremendous for me, just overall mood, is fiber. Yeah. I mean, dude, I eat a lot of meat. Yeah, I eat a lot of meat, which is cool. I mean, but like meat's not like very fiber heavy.
And you know, you had all these nutritionists and everyone saying to like, hey, this diet's gonna be better for you to do this. This diet's gonna be better. You know, it's not really a diet. It's just it's an overall lifestyle. It's a change in what you're used to and straying away from the norms. You know, always stepping and always growing and always progressing in what you're trying to do. And you know, it's no different than, you know, working out. No different than career paths that we keep talking about. You know, living situations. It's always gonna be something that we're gonna grow on and continue with. And when it comes to our nutrition and food, whatever we ingest, it's always gonna change. I mean, like even meats now. Some of them, like if you watch some of the videos, depending on where it comes from, get pumped up with, you know, soy, water, everything. Yeah. I always like, for my ground beef especially, I go to the butcher shop and stuff like that. You know, I've always tried to like find, that's why like there was a couple times I hit you up about if I came to St. Louis, if I get eggs from you and stuff like that. Always trying to find that because you don't even know what's going to be your eggs at the grocery store. Yeah. So. And
I'll tell you there's a difference. If you crack one of my eggs versus a grocery store egg, the yolk is different, the egg composition's different. Yeah. And you know, I sell my eggs every once in a while to local people that want them, like $2-3 a dozen. Yeah. Dude, a couple months ago when they were selling like $8 a dozen, like we were selling out. There was like probably a 4 month span where I didn't eat any of my own eggs because I was selling out. Yeah. And like if anybody ever was like, some of the people are like, oh, are these organic? What are you feeding?
But not everything that's organic is good for you either way.
That's what I said. I said, listen, lady, this lady on Facebook asked me for eggs. Said, hey, listen, if you want a dozen of eggs, $3, no problem. She asked me all these questions. I said, ma'am, do you want to come see the chicken's ass where it came from? Like, do you want to do that? I was like, I'll show you my feed. I'll show you my coop.
Yeah.
You can see my roosters. You can see all the hens.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you want, I will pick up the hen's ass and you can look at it and make sure it looks okay. But, some people are just weird about it.
Right.
But, yeah, man, I mean, I've been to a butcher shop many times as well. If you go to a butcher shop that's not, like, in a big box store, like, not a Schnucks, not a Walmart, you go to your local butcher, you're not only getting meat sometimes cheaper, sometimes it's more expensive, but sometimes it's cheaper, but you get premium cuts. You get better quality shit because it's all locally sourced.
Yeah. That's why, like, out at the lake, there's a place in Camdenton. It's literally called the Butcher Shop. And you can go there, and it's, like, kind of... Hey, what they have that day is what they're selling. If they run out, like, they legitimately run out. And they always run out of stuff. But you can get everything and anything that you can think of out there. And they're always such good people. They're always quality people to talk to. And they're so knowledgeable. It's like, you haven't walked into a butcher shop, they're not going to be like, oh, well, you're freaking stupid for not knowing anything what goes on here and how much this costs and, like, what you're trying to get. Like, they are very helpful and super knowledgeable, especially.
For sure. There's another butcher shop down the lake that I went to when we were down there. It was right across the street from Pepper Bob's. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Where at?
It's in the Camden side, off the main strip there, kind of by that Ozark.
That's the one I'm thinking of, right behind the gas station?
I don't know. It's an Italian butcher, though. They have Italian flags everywhere.
Oh.
And then across the street is a pizza place. It's like...
Pepperoni Bills.
Pepperoni Bills. That's what I call it. Pepper Bob's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was right across the street from Pepperoni Bills.
Because they have...
And Pepperoni Bills, by the way...
Is it in that plaza, or is it right behind the plaza right there?
So here's Pepperoni Bills.
Yeah.
And the main road goes there, and you have the main road here.
Yeah.
It's like diagonal from it.
Okay.
Towards like the highway and Culver's and everything.
Okay, yeah, the one I'm talking about is like right behind the gas station right there. There's two of them right there, so yeah. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, we went in there and I was like, oh my god, they have everything you can think of, also dual cause here, right?
Right.
You're supporting a local business. That's always better. Fuck Walmart. Fuck all those major billion-dollar companies. You're supporting a local business, which is the best thing you can do. If you pay $1 or $2 more, hey, you know what? So be it, right? But in return for paying $1 or $2 more possible, you're getting better quality.
Yeah.
And you know where the beef is being sourced from. You know where the pig's being sourced from. So
exactly.
It's different than you buying some cookie cutter hot dog that is half pig asshole and the other half is random organs from gross parts that you never eat, and then it's fluffed up with soy and water and all this nasty shit.
Documentaries on Netflix, like the one especially about McDonald's and how it started and everything, start to finish, but then they also have it where it shows you like certain, I don't even know what the show's called, but it like basically shows you what happens to your body when you consume like McDonald's or consume a certain fast food burger compared to like an all natural like beef type style,
Are you talking about Super Size Me?
That's one of the one of the movies, I think. But there's an actual show that like portions out like different things, like for example like Doritos, like basically processed foods and stuff like that, compared to like if you make your own like potato chips type stuff like that. So they break all that down and kind of like show you what happens. But I think what also gets lost with nutrition is we have all these cooking shows and Gordon Ramsay, Bobby Flay and all that. You got all these people, so when people think about cooking and making stuff at home, they think it's gonna be like that every single time, that you're making like 5-star 4-course meals or whatever it may be, or they don't picture like, granted, mac and cheese out of the box, still love it, but it's not great for you at all. It's terrible for you.
Without your cheese.
But like there's many alternate substitutions to that. Like one of the things I've done, instead of doing like sour cream, I just basically do I don't even know what I'm calling Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, non-fat. It's just the exact same. It's just you have to get over the fact that it's literally not sour cream. And people are like, oh, I can taste the difference. How much of a difference can you really freaking taste?
You really can't. So
I'm not like eating it by the spoonful.
Right. So I made a pretty big change in my life. I've always been a milk drinker. I mean, like I would slam like a gallon every 2 days, dude. And I went to an allergist, and they were like, hey, listen, like you're having some issues with your esophagus flaring up, and all this bullshit. They were like, have you ever thought you might be allergic to dairy? And I said, no. I mean, I eat a lot of fucking cheese. I drink a lot of fucking milk. I mean, I would say dairy is a good portion of my diet. He goes, well, just do me a favor. He goes, stop drinking milk, like cut back on the cheese, and just see if your throat gets better.
Yeah.
Dude, I switched to oat milk. I have not had dairy milk other than like ice cream. Right. I've not had a glass of dairy milk in months. One, oat milk is better. Way better.
I do almond milk, so
almond milk tastes good too, but oat milk, I'm telling you, it tastes better in my opinion. And I don't feel shit. And what people don't really know as well is inflammation from food, right?
Right.
Like, dude, people eat these food and like your whole body just gets inflamed and you feel like dog shit and you're bloated and then you're fucking in a coma of sugar or whatever the hell it is. Dude, milk for me, I don't know about everybody, but milk, like dairy milk for me, cause a lot of inflammation.
Yeah.
I switched to oat milk. I still get my fix. It's a little better for you. It's less sugar, less calories, less fat, and I don't have the inflammation. So, you know, like my whole point of saying that is like, you know, be open to other alternatives than the traditional.
That's what makes it so hard about like switching over, you know, and trying to like change. Like I said, it's not a diet; it's a lifestyle because you're not trying to do it for just short term. Like you want to make that long term goal.
Yeah, you're not trying to lose 10 pounds. You're trying to, you know, change the betterment of your life for good.
Literally, your health, overall, everything. And you know, you can't reverse a lot of things that you've eaten and like drank before and stuff like that. But at the same time, you could still make it better for like, you know, for going future and stuff like that. So it always is just going to be interchanging.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you. So we'll wrap this up. I know we had to do a little part 2 here, and you know, so if you could say some advice to, I asked you a question earlier, it didn't get recorded, so I'll ask it again. You know, one thing you hit on hard earlier, which I really appreciated, was like, you know, starting new and getting out of your comfort zone. Basically adapting and overcoming. If somebody was a newer person into that category where they haven't really got out of their comfort zone too much before, but they're trying to venture out, what is some of the advice that you would give them?
Be open. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of, you know, intimidation. Like, there's so many different aspects in our life that everybody's scared of. And just because someone's there not to hold your hand doesn't mean you should hold back. Like, you should have, someone could be there, you know, kind of push you and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, it's just taking that big leap. I mean, for the longest time before I moved to the lake, my mom was telling me that I should move back to St. Louis. She's like, even if it's just right out of college, like, you don't have like a set plan or anything yet, just come back. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to make the jump and be completely fine and move down there. And it turned out, you know, pretty good. I can't complain. I definitely would change it for the world. It opened up my eyes to new experiences and new opportunities. You know, I didn't get out of Missouri right off the bat, but at the same time, like, still always a chance for that, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds, you know?
Yeah, bro, absolutely. Well, my friend, I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming on.